And we are coming back here to the second half of the Mohawk Valley Quadfathers against Toronto Carnage. Again, Toronto with 39, Quadfathers with 92. And we got some awesome stats here, and you can chat with me, my producer Q here. Looking at the back and forth right now, the penalty side of things, it seems like the Quadfathers are very penalty heavy.
Very much so. They've actually almost doubled the amount of total penalties that Toronto had. Toronto over the first half stuck at 12 total penalties, while the Quadfathers racked up a total of 23. The skater that's kind of in trouble right now, they racked up 6 penalties on their own, and that is unwired number 33.
And that's trouble because he's actually in the jamming rotation.
That's correct. Other than that, there were 2 overturned penalties on the Toronto side, number 11 and number 8.
So Billy the Kid and Kilman.
Correct. They both had track cut penalties that were overturned. Nobody on that side is having any issues in terms of penalties numbers.
And with penalties, we were talking about earlier, we had that official review Toronto called and lost. What happened with that?
That was actually an attempted call for a track cut. That's what they were looking for on the white jammer. That was just ruled as we're going to keep the no call. There wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. So they lost their challenge on that one.
And I know we said this earlier, we saw like almost even lead jams between both, but big scoring for the Quadfathers themselves. Do you find it was actually had to do with like the big scoring jams that they had?
That's exactly what it was, actually. The lead jammers, like you said, are pretty much neck and neck. There was 9 versus 13. But there were a couple big jams on the quad side, and they were able to get 4 or 5 scoring passes in those jams alone, which is why you see that huge point differential that we do right now.
And a lot of that actually has to be attributed to Carnage Asada, who's actually out there going to be starting the first jam of our second half with Senor Wiener. And of course, the entire crew pushed up to the front. And they're actually going to have a pack advantage to Toronto. Huge opportunity. As Unwired, we mentioned before, having about 6 penalties. This is his 6th he's actually sitting in right now.
That's correct.
Thank you, Q. You are the freaking man. and you know he's a good guy because he wears sandals without socks. And with that, Wiener comes out and will take a lead jam for Toronto. Carnage actually being held at bay. Beautiful tripod formation up on turn number 1. Both teams actually compressing and constricting. Both jammers. Wiener already did get that initial pass. This wiggles his way through. Oh, a little JVJ picks up 4 points. Carnage was able to still stay ahead a little bit. We're trying to shut the door on that pretty quick. And don't forget, you can join us with any questions, comments, or shout outs because we're giving them all weekend. You can get that through Twitter on hashtag #TalkToBOBH. That's talk, the number 2 BOBH. That is once again hashtag TALK, the number 2 BOBH. Score now 43-92 in favor of the Quadfathers. Kilman going to be jamming for Toronto. Stankus for the Quadfathers, and Kilman busts through. Kilman wraps around, trying to grab a hold of his teammate Spencer Sleep and still kept going outside. Quickly called that, firing back. This is going to be a chip away game. Toronto is going to do a chip away at that score, keeping the Quadfathers silenced. So that's going to be 3 points added on. 46-92, 28 minutes, 6 seconds remaining. Is her first lead jam of this bout. Carnage Asada getting locked up again, going 0 for 2 in the second half for Lee Jam. Getting a huge bump out by Smartin up from Toronto. And Spencer, wow, Spencer Sleep laid into Beechers. And Beechers is not happy about that in the least. But who would blame him? And right now, Carnage Asada working that initial pass. Pink Slaminade is going to call that, and that's going to still be able to pick up a single point. Again, 3 lead jams in a row for Toronto, picking away at that scoreboard, crawling up as quick as possible, but as careful. Stankus out there for the Quadfathers. Senor Wiener for Toronto. We have a full house on the flat track. Stankus just belts his way through, able to take down Spencer Sleep. Stankus is incredibly fast on those skates. All right, wrap around. Beechers doing the best he can to put the block on Wiener and able to get him in the infield. Wiener not happy with that one. Stankus swims through, picks up 4 points. Wiener going on to a defense. Oh my God. Colette Stankus puts him down to a knee. He pops back up. But now Wiener is gridlocked. Where's Beechers and Zolkowski locking him down. And there is a blocking with the back of the head penalty going on Stankus. This is now power jam for Toronto. Beechers laying it in for Zolkowski. Oh, and the intensity, the fear, excuse me, as I almost blew the mic, the furiousness coming out of, the ferocity I should say, coming out of all the blockers. Wow. Sets Asleep just laid into Beechers and put him into the infield, and he is not well. We are going to take a quick break. And we're going to, hopefully everything will be taken care of. Our medics here are going to be taking care of Beechers. We will give you an update in a moment. And we are back. Beecher was able to actually get up. There was a little bit of a fright even up here. He was holding, putting gesture signs to his throat. He removed his helmet. But he was able to get up. He's actually keeping his arms up, trying to regain his oxygen. He's over by the medic staff. We're still at that timeout. Officials maybe having a discussion about that hit. So we're seeing now officials approaching both teams. And we'll get some information right now. Again, we are at an official timeout, 25 minutes, 18 seconds remaining. 47 points to Toronto. Outrage. Quadfathers hit that century mark with 100. Our awesome medics have been fantastic all freaking weekend here at Fitchburg, at Battle Bunker Hill, out there talking with our officials as well, giving updates. And we're going to get back to the action here. There still was a power jam that was in play with Stankus in the penalty box. So we're going to have a power start with Toronto. Already, again, Quadfathers have a blocker in the box and their jammer. So this is a huge pack advantage to Toronto. And that's going to be Kilman who's going to take it. Kilman secures that lead jam. Stankus now out and fumbles his way through the pack. Kilman calling that, kind of picked up, and looks like 2 points for Toronto, bringing it 49 to 124 minutes, 50 seconds. $51 points separate them, yes, but now we're going to bring up Pink Slaminade for Toronto. Carnage Asada having a great bout. playing a little JVJ, trying to force Pink Slaminate out. But because of that and the step back, Pink Slaminate actually stayed inbound, cut her way through the pack, going to take a lead jam for second. A forearm call going to go on Spencer Sleet. Pack went around. Slaminate went to the inbound, had to step out of bounds there, but able to call that off, picking up 2 points. And again, back to that tactic we saw already at the beginning of our second half with Toronto, where they're just chipping away at the scoreboard and trying to close in that deficit. Wiener's going to be back out there against Stankus. Spencer Sleep still in the penalty box, so the Quadfathers are going to get that pack advantage. 23 minutes, 35 seconds. And my goodness, Stankus out with a lead jam. Wiener getting bounced around. Finally able to find that opening in the back. Swept right behind Zolkowski. Stankus forced out of bounds. Going to call that. And actually, they're going to give it a full grand slam. That's going to put them at 105 over the 51 for Toronto. And we're going to have Carnage Asada back out for the Quadfathers. Killman, number 8 for Toronto. One thing I like interesting, Q, I don't know if you noticed this. Killman has a different type of play where most jammers come straight into the pack. He takes an entire lap around and then quietly approaches from turn 4 at the beginning. Carnage able to hop a little bit that apex there and able to take that lead jam. Killman locked up at B-Shires. B-Shires takes him out on the straightaway. Going to force him back a quarter of the track. Carnage, uncontested, takes a 5-pointer. That's going to bring it 51 to 110. Carnage chopping around the side around Bacon and Egger. Steve are doing the best he can to try to push that pack around for Toronto. Carnage now locked up there with Bacon and Egger and number 213. That'd be Sylvia Sleet. Yep, Carnage. But it's actually, Whistle went to a multiplayer block, and that is going to go on number 13, low blow. Carnage hops through the air again. Amazing agility and throws a dab on turn 1. Not only does he land it with class, he lands it with style. He will take another 5, bringing 51 to 115. Gilman outbounds, recycled back by Stever, who just crashed right into Arnold Bacon and Egger. Another 5 points going to Carnage. They're going to ride. He looks like he's going to be riding out this jam clock right now. 34 seconds remaining in that. And we have a cut track call. Who is that on? And it looks like that went on Killman. Cut track, that's power jam to the Quadfathers. Another huge jam for Carnage Asada. And he is going to wrap that one up. 20-point jam. Another high jam and score by Carnage. And they're going to have a power start. Current score right now at the 20-minute, 34-second mark. 51 to Toronto. Quadfathers at 125. Power start going to go towards Stankus. Going to try to come up the middle, lock up into the tripod, being anchored by Spencer Sleep. Rotated around Billy the Kid. Also helping out with Smartin up. And wow, Billy the Kid goes flying out of the crash zone almost into our crowd on the far left on turn number 2. Stankus. Now there's an extra pass. B-Shires tries to open up a little bit path. It does help. He goes to the inside. Stankus with a grand slam. Killman back up there, locking up with B-Shires. The tripod Toronto hits up into Stankus. Killman going out of bounds. And it looks like going to the box is going to be unwired. I do believe that his 7th penalty? We will find out. We will get an update. And tumbling around, Kilman goes down, Stankus goes down. Both gridlock, 19 minutes, 13 seconds, 51 to Toronto, 130 to the Quadfathers. Stankus cycles back. Billy the Kid out of play, going to go to the box. Kilman had that star stash, going to pop that up, back up. And that will wrap up that jam, of course. Now, Beechers, it looks like he's going to be subbing in for Unwired. Unwired has fouled out of this bout. Very tough to see because he was a pretty effective jammer. Not in this bout in particular, but he could have been utilized at around. He did a great job earlier this weekend. And now Chapin, who is not here for bouts, well, he wasn't bouting Saturday, is in the mix. His first time jamming against Pink Slaminade. Both teams with a blocker in the box. Pink Slaminade out, taking the lead jam. Sylvia Sleep to the box, and Spencer Sleep to the box. Along with a member of the Quadfathers. Chapin finally working that initial pass. Slaminade locking eyes with her real quick. Just gets their hips a little past Stever while calling that off. And yep, they're gonna give it. Going to give it a couple of points, 2 points. They're bringing 53 to 134. 17 minutes now remaining in this battle. Once again, 53 to Toronto, 134 for the Quadfathers. There's a 3-on-4 back advantage going to Quadfathers and Carnage. Wiener went to the box for a forearm. This is now Power Jam. Carnage already has the lead jam and adds another 5 points to the board, bringing it 139 for the Quadfathers. Box release and just Wiener sitting in the box. Paleo go into the box now. Wiener is unleashed and hops the Apex, stays in bounds. Fantastic footwork. Carnage knocked down. Calls that as he definitely could hear a pop from the crowd, but that's still a 10-point jam for Carnage, bringing it 53 to 144. Now at the 16-minute mark left in our bout. It was Stankus out there running the start, going up against Kilman. Let this play out that Arbagan got launched to the outside. Stankus finally gets that lead. Kilman with that star stash, but a affected diamond now breaking up a little bit of the Quadfathers. Kilman balancing on his toe stumps, able to stay in. Stankus hops through, gets 5 more points for the Quadfathers, 53 to 149, 14 minutes, 36 seconds. Kilman now switching to that defensive mode. It didn't quite work out for Wiener last time this happened. And again, Stankus able to juke around. Now locking horns with locking horns with number 17, Smarten up. And as Spencer Sleep forces Stankus to do that long recycle. Locking eye to eye. Stank is trying to look for some jukes and working, able to hop right behind Bacon Egger, stayed inbounds. Going to pick up an additional 5, bringing 53 to 154. Stank is going to ride out this jam clock. That is now. Now we're going down to 13 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in our bout. This is the final MRDA bout of the weekend, but we still have 2 more WFTDA sanctioned bouts coming up after this. At the 5 o'clock mark, we're going to have Upper Valley Vixens taking on Central New York Nightmares. And then after that, 7 o'clock, Hartford Whalers against the Penn Jersey She Devils. Just pausing there, it looks like we have a timeout being called, and that is going to be a timeout by Toronto at the 13 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in this 53 to 154, 101 point deficit. Now turn to my producer Q here, who is has the most amazing tropical shirts, and again, he is my friend for one reason only, because he wears sandals and not with socks on them as well. That's a deal breaker to me personally. But turn into what we're seeing so far. We've already gone through up to 12 jams so far in our half. Again, we got about 13 minutes remaining. What sort of things are you seeing on your end?
You know, a lot of it seems to be a continuation of what we had in the first half. Toronto, when they do get the lead jam, they're able to score basically up to about 4 points, but really no grand slams and only 1 scoring pass. Whereas the Quadfathers, when they get their lead jam, they're able to get 1 or 2 scoring jams out of it, sometimes as many as 4, really racking up the big points quickly, making it difficult to kind of for Toronto to catch back.
And Toronto's going to have quite a difficult time, so they're just going to try to narrow that gap. But again, we've seen crazier things happen as Carnage now jamming for the Quadfathers. Senorita for the Toronto, and the winner is in the lead. Carnage almost stayed balanced. Ooh, wait a minute wow, that was some interesting gameplay. Spencer Sleep knocks Carnage out of bounds. Stever fired back into to Spencer Sleep, knocking him out of bounds. He gets a forearm call for that. Carnage finally wraps his way through. Absolutely, even though Wiener was in the lead, his lead jam, Carnage was able to find the inside opening. He took 5 points. Wiener now out, picking up 4. So much happened in so little time there. But you can see like the ferocity in the gameplay between these two teams. Wiener twirls like a beautiful ballerina on his toe stops, able to get 4 points. Carnage fires back with 4 more of his own. We are now under 12 minutes, 61 points to Toronto, 162 to Quadfathers. And they're just going tat for tat on this one. 4 points fired back and forth between Wiener and Carnage. Penalty box completely emptied out. And that is going to be it. And it looks like Wiener was able to pull off 3 points on that one. Oh my. Now it's 68 to Toronto. 166 to the Quadfathers. 11 minutes, 19 seconds. Toronto has 1 timeout and 1 official review in the bank. Quadfathers has all their timeouts and their official review in case they want to use it. Stankus up now for the Quadfathers. Pink Slaminade for Toronto. Stankus tried to leap that apex. No good. Comes inbounds, recycles back. Slaminade recycling back as well. Bacon and Egger tried to force out Stankus, and looked like it was Spencer Sleep able to push him in. And Slaminade is going to get lead jam for Toronto. 10 minutes, 24 seconds. Stankus finally working through that initial pass. But again, he's such an incredibly fast skater. Slaminade, tried to both jammers slid into home plate there. And there is silence from that one. Slaminade able to pick up a point. Called it off before Stankus could get any. They both slid out right into turn number 4. One into the infield, one outfield. There was a very strange pause, as I call it there, because almost like they were expecting something to be called, but nothing was. Kilman now jamming for Toronto, who have 69. Stankus, it looks like Stankus did get called for a penalty. He's in the box. This was a power start for Kilman, 69 to 166. Kilman now taking advantage of that power start, getting control of this jam. Connects back into his pack. Stankus being held at bay fans and opening on the outside. Working that initial pass. Kilman sent out of bounds by Bishers. Going to call that off before Stankus catch up. Able to pick up a full 4 points, bringing it 73 to 166. 8 minutes, 45 seconds. And again, after this bout, stick around. We still have 2 more to go here at Battle of Bunker Hill 2018. Upper Valley Vixens going up against Central New York's Nightmares, and the Hartford Whalers against Penn Jersey's She Devils. Senora Wiener, edge back out there. For 2 jammers, they make such a lovely pair. Like I said, they have very similar jamming styles. Incredibly agile. Long hair, beautiful beards, all that good stuff. And, oh my goodness, we almost thought he was getting out of bounds by Bishers. He bounced so incredibly well. Again, we bring up the agility. And, ow! We know the smile on that one. Tried to leap the apex and ate his face off the floor. But he is perfectly fine. There was a big smile on him, and he was still able to pick up 2 points even after he cycled back. That's going to bring it 75 to 166. Still, Quadfathers ahead, 7 minutes, 20 seconds to go. And now we have an official timeout call. And that was after Senator Wayne was talking to a couple of officials right after he had called that jam. So we're going to see what they're kind of looking into. Trying to make sure everything is A-okay. We got all our calls as near perfect as possible. But again, a shout out to all our awesome officials here all weekend long. Some of them playing back-to-back bouts here. Once again, we're at 7 minutes, 12 seconds during this official timeout. 75 points to Toronto Outrage, 166 to Mohawk Valley's Quadfathers. And if you missed any of the previous bouts, do not despair. You can subscribe to Mass Maelstrom's YouTube. They carry all the replays of every bout at this Battle of Bunker Hill and previous years as well. Look like correcting that scoreboard. Now putting it 78-166. They added 3 more points. And we're getting back to the action. Yep, there was a score correction upon review between the officials. Yeah, those 3 more points that need to be awarded now. Once again, 78 for Toronto, 166 for the Quadfathers. That's going to bring out Pink Slaminade for Toronto and Stankus for Mohawk Valley. Slaminade recycled back. Stankus pushing with all his might against that tripod. Coming in for the save. The Stever breaks up that pack a little bit. Stankus is out, taking that lead. Slaminade looks like she's trying to pass that star too. Looks like she's trying to pass to Spencer Sleep. No go as she's recycling back. Sleep now engaged with Stankus, and Stankus playing it smart, going, recycling back all the way to turn number 2. Slaminade still with a stash on that. Stankus through for 5 points. Forearm call being assessed. And that is going to go on number 213, Sylvia Sleep. 2 of the blockers for the quad end. And oh no, track cut on Slaminade. This is going to be power jam for Stankus. 5 minutes, 56 seconds remaining in our second half of this bout. 78 to 176. Now this is going to be very interesting here, Q. As we're now moving to the next jam, and here we go. It looks like Quadfathers finally cashing one of those timeouts. Timeout call, 5 minutes, 36 seconds. Power start for the Quadfathers. Not only is it a power start, but Toronto has 2 other blockers in the box. Of course, the pivot for the Quadfathers is in the box, but is standing, so he'll be released very soon.
And even though it was his turn in the rotation anyways, very smart for them to put Carnage Asada in. He's been skating extremely well this bout. Likely he's going to be able to pick up a few points before anybody gets out of that box on the Toronto side.
Absolutely, and the key goal there is to get that lead jam and have control of that board. And even though it's about a 98-point deficit, 78 to 176 there, they're going to do everything they can to keep that score spread as far as possible from Toronto. And there he is, lineup, Carnage Asada. Right now, the only ones out for Toronto, Arnold, Bacon, and Egger, along with Smartin up. Be sure is now rolling in, bridging between Carnage and back, and Carnage uncontested. Well done by the Quadfathers. Keeping Toronto pushed to the outside as Carnage found that opening on the inside. Once again, trying to split up the dynamic duo of Toronto. Carnage now finds the opening on the inside. Is going to pick up 5 points, 78 to 181. Slaminade back out there. Still has to get through the pack and work her initial pass. Carnage already re-engaging. Slaminade takes a hard hit and goes down. And you hear the sounds of joy as Pink Slaminade was able to get up and recover. Again, 2 back-to-back moments here in this bout. Q that got a little scary for a minute, but luckily they're doing so well. And I gotta honestly say, and see if you agree with me on this one here. Actually, you're the one who said it, and I have to agree with you. The Medics definitely earned everything. Every bit of respect here for all the work that they do. Not like they don't deserve respect, but they really excelled at their work. They're always on, like Johnny on the spot, as I look to say, taking care of all of our skaters. back now. We're now under the 5-minute mark. Senior Wiener for Toronto, but Carnage Asada going to take the lead. Jam for the Quadfathers. And very interesting also, Q, both teams have had a foul out, as we saw earlier. That first one was going to Unwired. Now Spencer Sleep, number 222, is fouled out as well. So he is out of their blocking rotation. He was one of their biggest, like, toughest blockers they had. 4 minutes, 9 seconds, 78 to Toronto, 186 to the Quadfathers. Stankus now jamming, hops around number 213, Sylvia Sleep, and Killman finally out. Stankus recycles back in and is going to call that. That is going to be a scoreless jam. Once again, 3 minutes now, 47 seconds, 78 to 186. Chapin coming up for his second jam? I believe it was, yeah, his second jam. And going to go against Senorina. Toronto already down 1 in the box. That's number 17, Smart and up. Chapin able to pick up lead, and Wiener is on his tail.